that image we all have of a lion, the king of the jungle, all majestic and powerful, just ruling over everything he sees? Well, the reality of that reign, it's not a fairy tale, not even close. It's a life that's forged in violence, defined by this constant, brutal struggle for survival, and it almost always ends in a lonely, ugly defeat. So, let's really dig in and see what it takes to wear that crown.
So let me just ask you right here at the start, do you really think it's good to be the king? We're going to follow the life of a male lion from the moment he's born to the moment he dies, and, well, you can decide for yourself.
Your journey doesn't start with a mighty roar. Nope, it starts with a tiny, helpless gasp. You're born into a world of total darkness and silence, completely dependent and just unbelievably vulnerable. This is where the life of the so-called king actually begins. I mean, your helplessness is absolute. You're so small, a meerkat could probably push you around. Your mother is your entire world, your only protector, but she has to hunt. And every single time she leaves the den, you and your siblings are just moments away from being found by something like a hyena. Your survival, right now, is basically a coin toss.
And things develop so slowly. It takes a whole week, before your eyes and ears even start working. It's a full month before you can even kinda stumble around on your own paws. And then, finally, at 6 weeks old, you leave the den and get introduced to the complex and often harsh reality of your new family, the pride.
Life in the pride is a total crash course in survival. The good news? Hey, you can nurse from any of the lionesses who's producing milk. That's a plus. The bad news? You witness these terrifyingly brutal kills. And more importantly, you learn your place, fast. The big males eat first, then the lionesses. You and the other cubs, you get whatever scraps are left over. You are at the absolute bottom of the totem pole.
So, just as you're starting to get the hang of this life, learning to hunt and play, your entire world is about to be completely shattered. This is where your real test begins. Not as a cub in a pride, but as an orphan out in the wild. Just try to imagine this. One day, a group of new, powerful males just appears on the horizon. A ferocious, unbelievable battle erupts. You just watch, frozen, as your father and the other pride leaders, the lions who've protected you your entire life, are viciously, horribly defeated. It's just chaos.
And here's the brutal logic of the savannah. The new males, they immediately start hunting down all the cubs. Their goal is to completely wipe out the old bloodline to make way for their own. Your mother shoves you into a bush, tells you to run, and you just bolt for your life. You hear the sounds behind you, and you know. You just know some of your brothers and sisters didn't make it. You are now a nomad.
Your new life is bleak. As a nomad, you're scraping by on rodents, lizards, maybe the scraps of a carcass if you get really, really lucky. But you remember those feasts back in the pride, fresh zebra, antelope. That memory, that stark difference between what you have and what you had, that's what fuels you for the next 5 years. After years of scavenging, of barely surviving, you are not a frightened little cub anymore. You've grown strong. You've formed a coalition, a brotherhood with other exiled males. The time for just surviving is over. It's time to rule. You and your brothers in exile, you roam the savannah with one single purpose: to find a pride of your own. And you're not just looking for any pride. You're looking for one with old, weak leaders. You're looking for the exact same opportunity that once destroyed your entire family.
And the process is just swift and merciless. First, you challenge the kings. Then comes a ferocious, bloody battle for dominance. You and your coalition, you fight like a well-oiled machine, and you win. Victory is yours. But there's one final grim task that has to be done.
To secure your own legacy, you have to do what was done to your own siblings all those years ago. You hunt down the cubs of the leader you just defeated. It's a horrific act, but in the brutal math of a lion's life, it's necessary. The pride, the lionesses, the future, it all belongs to you now. So, congratulations, you are now the king. But if you think for 1 second the violence stops here, you are dead wrong. The crown is heavy, and just holding onto it is a daily bloody battle. Your days become this really strange mix. Yeah, there's a lot of sleeping and eating thanks to the lioness's hunting skills. You father your own cubs, securing your bloodline, but every single day you have to patrol your territory and violently fight off other nomadic males who want exactly what you have. The threat never, ever goes away. And here is the cruelest irony of all. After about 2 years of protecting and raising your own sons, they start to mature. And that testosterone makes them a threat. So before they can even think about challenging you for the throne, you and your coalition have to violently drive them out, forcing them into the very same nomadic life that you once had to endure.
Years go by. Years of feasting, of fighting, of defending your throne. But time is undefeated. The constant battles wear you down. And the cycle that you started all those years ago, it's about to come for you. At around 13 years old, you feel it. Your strength is just gone. Your roar isn't as powerful. The scars from countless battles just ache all the time. You are now the old, weak leader that you once hunted down.
And then, one day, it happens. A new coalition appears on the horizon. They're younger, stronger, hungrier than you've been in years. You fight with every last ounce of strength you have, but it's not enough. One of them sinks his teeth deep into your shoulder. Your allies fall. It's over.
You manage to limp away, but you've lost everything. Your territory, your lionesses, your legacy. And now you have to hunt for yourself again, but you're old and you're slow. For years, you've relied on the pride to eat for you. You are not the hunter you used to be. The hunger hits you immediately, and it's debilitating.
You try to hunt a gazelle, but they're just too fast. You try for a slow, wild boar, but a pack of hyenas steals it from you. Days turn into a week, then 2. You fail again and again. It has been 2 weeks since you've last eaten anything. You're weak, you're alone, and you're starving. This is how the king's reign ends. Not in some glorious battle, but in a slow, lonely fade into nothing. So I'll ask you, is it good to be the king? Or is the true ruler of the savannah something else entirely? This relentless, brutal cycle of life, death, and the violent transfer of power. It really seems like the crown isn't a symbol of permanent rule at all. It's just a temporary prize in a war that never, ever ends.